Imagine being in high school, sitting in a classroom where the teacher is discussing something that seems completely irrelevant to your life, like quadratic equations or the symbolism in Shakespeare. You're daydreaming about what you'll have for lunch or scrolling through your phone under the desk. Now picture this. Instead of that lesson, the teacher is talking about budgeting, credit scores, and how to save for a house. Does that hit a little differently? It's wild to think about how much of our lives revolve around money, yet so many of us leave school without a clue on how to manage it. According to a 2021 report from the National Endowment for Financial Education, only about 17 states in the U.S. require high school students to take a personal finance course. That's just a fraction of the entire country. So what does that mean for the students? Well, let's break it down. Think about it. Financial literacy is like a superpower. Knowing how to budget your paycheck, understanding the interest rates on loans, or having some knowledge about investing can set someone up for life. But without that education, many young adults are thrown into the real world completely unprepared. They might end up racking up credit card debt, living paycheck to paycheck, or feeling lost when it comes to things like retirement savings. Take Sarah, for instance. She graduated from high school in 2018 and went straight to a community college. During her time there, she managed to find a part-time job waiting tables to pay for her classes and expenses. But here's the kicker. She had no idea how to budget her money. Sarah would often spend her tips on things she didn't need, like a new pair of shoes or takeout meals, thinking she could just make more money the next week. Then, when unexpected expenses popped up, like car repairs, she found herself in a tough spot. Before she knew it, her credit card was maxed out and she was drowning in debt, all because she hadn't learned the basics of managing her finances. Let's throw some numbers into the mix. According to a 2022 survey by Bankrate, 58% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That's more than half of the population. Now, what's even more shocking is that this number includes people who earn over $100,000 a year. You'd think making a decent salary would mean you're set, right? But without financial literacy, even those who seem to have it all together can find themselves in a precarious situation. So, what's the long-term impact of this lack of education? It's not just about an individual's financial struggles. It has broader implications for society. When people don't know how to manage their money, they often rely on loans with high interest rates or payday advances, which can lead to cycles of debt that are hard to escape. This isn't just a personal issue, it's a systemic one. Communities that lack access to quality financial education often face higher levels of poverty and economic instability. Now, let's flip the script. Imagine if schools started incorporating financial literacy into their curriculum. Students would learn about compound interest, how to shop for insurance, and the importance of saving for emergencies. Maybe the next Sarah wouldn't find herself in credit card debt because she'd know how to budget effectively. Think about the potential ripple effects. A student who understands how to save and invest is more likely to buy a home, contribute to their local economy, and even help their friends and family with financial advice. It's like passing the torch of knowledge. Here's a real-world example that highlights this. In 2019, the city of San Francisco launched a financial education program aimed at high school students. The results were promising. After just 1 year, students who participated in the program reported feeling more confident about their financial decision-making. A whopping 80% said they felt better prepared to manage their money after taking the course. This isn't just feel-good data. It shows a tangible shift in how these students approach their finances. But it's not just about what's taught in classrooms. Family dynamics play a significant role in shaping financial habits too. If a child grows up in a household where money is tight and financial discussions are non-existent, they might carry those same struggles into adulthood. It's a cycle that's tough to break. Let's consider the story of Mike, who grew up in a low-income neighborhood where financial literacy wasn't a topic that came up at the dinner table. His parents worked multiple jobs just to make ends meet, and discussions about savings or investments were rare. When Mike reached college, he was overwhelmed by the choices he had to make. He took out loans without understanding the long-term implications, and by the time he graduated, he was looking at nearly $30,000 in student debt. Contrast this with someone like Lisa, who grew up in a household where her parents openly discussed money management. They encouraged her to save a portion of her allowance, and she even had a small savings account by the time she was 10. When Lisa went to college, she not only avoided debt, but also entered the workforce with a clear understanding of how to budget her salary. Now, let's touch on technology and innovation. With the rise of financial apps and online resources, young people today have unprecedented access to financial information. But here's where it gets tricky. While some apps can help users track their spending or invest small amounts of money, they can also lead to impulsive spending habits. The ease of online shopping and digital payments can blur the lines between needs and wants.
Consider the rise of buy now, pay later services. On one hand, they offer a convenient way to make purchases without immediate financial strain. On the other hand, they can encourage users to spend beyond their means. For many young adults, this can create a false sense of financial security. The temptation is real, and without the foundational knowledge of how to manage money, many could find themselves in a cycle of debt. So, what's the takeaway here? It's clear that financial literacy education in schools can have profound effects on students. It's not just about teaching kids how to balance a checkbook, it's about empowering them to take control of their financial futures. If schools prioritize financial education, we might see a generation that's not only more financially savvy, but also more resilient in the face of economic challenges.
Students who understand their financial options are more likely to make informed choices, paving the way for a healthier economy overall. And here's a thought. If you could go back in time and give your younger self one piece of financial advice, what would it be? Think about how that knowledge could have changed your path. Now imagine the impact you could have by sharing that wisdom with the next generation. It's time to advocate for financial literacy in schools, to push for programs that equip students with the tools they need to navigate the complex financial landscape. Because when we invest in their education, we're investing in a brighter, more secure future for everyone.